Hi everyone, this is Ari from Palmeri Arts and Crafts, coming to you from Adirondack region in New York State. Hi, welcome back and welcome if you haven't been to my podcast before. My name is Ari. I'm originally from Japan and I live in New York State in Adirondack region. I last updated podcast in July and it has been really long time, which I cannot believe it's been almost 3 months since the last recording. But one, I was really busy with kids, and the other reason was because of that reason I didn't have a lot of project to share, and I feel like if I'm doing knitting podcast I should have more content when I record, so I just didn't feel like it's gonna be inspirational or there won't be a lot of updates, so I waited until I have a few things to share. Anyways, I would like to share some of my life story, how things has been going, but I know some people are not into that, so let's hop on to my finished project and working project, and then work in progress project. My goodness. So the first finished project is the Mohair shawl. So back in, I think it was May or June, I talked about I have leftover mohair yarn, which is very nice, and it's from 10 years ago project, and I kept the yarn and I don't know what to do with it. And one of the viewer mentioned about, oh, why don't you make a birds of feather shawl? So I looked at the pattern and it looked really pretty. It's from Renee, I forgot the name, which one was her? I think she's big on Ravelry. Renee Drea Knitting or Renee Knitting. It's really bad, I'm sorry, I just cannot remember the name right now, but she made this beautiful pattern and I finally finished it. So one of the reasons I didn't do podcast is, one, I was designing my first tee and I was having a really hard time, and second, it has been a frogging month. I knit something for a long time and then I ended up frogging. So this is a shawl I made. And again, my I don't have a really good recording set right now, so the color is a little off. It's actually really bright orange, and I don't know how to make this nice. Maybe I changed the setting of the lighting. Hold on one second. Maybe I will put a nicer picture right here so you can see actual nice color. But anyways, this is a shawl I finished. It's pretty big. It's so pretty. Like, I don't even know how she came up with this beautiful idea. So I started from this corner and then increase the stitches, and then, as you can see, decrease at one point, and then create this beautiful almost triangular shawl, but it's not really triangle. And it's amazing how she came up with this beautiful pattern and structure. Like, I am new to designing and I am just in awe of this beautiful structure. But anyways, as you can see, this is a mohair yarn I had as a leftover, and then right here is different yarn. It's a little more solid. So I really enjoyed working with this yarn. The only thing was, I think I talked about it in last podcast. I thought I made a mistake. I think maybe when I was around right here on this border, I thought I made a mistake on repeat. So I frogged it all the way to here, and then only to find out I didn't have to frog these borders. So I was really mad. And then I restarted it. And meanwhile, I was working on a different project. And when I realized, when I came back to this, I think it was like past, I don't know, it was past where I started to frog. I'm pretty sure I frogged right here all the way down, and then I restarted it and did all the way to here, and then only to realize I used wrong needle size because I was working on a different project and I really needed the same length cable to accommodate the width of this shawl, and I was working on a tee which I'm wearing and I'm going to talk about next. So I was switching needles around, and at one point I didn't switch the sizing, so ended up I used a wrong sized needle, and this is supposed to be larger needle and not the same size needle as my linen tee. So I had to frog everything all over again and then restart. So it was very frustrating, not because of the pattern, because of how I am, and I almost ditched it. But again, doing this is really good because I already talked about this shawl, so I know I have to finish in order to create the next podcast. So it is very it motivates me a lot to finish project, which is a really good thing. So yeah, I finished it. So I'm going to show you one more time because I'm so proud I finished it. So this is the right side. Here you go. Ta-da! So yes, I am very excited, and it's so soft. Oh, this is just heavenly, very soft. So yes, I brought it outside multiple times and it kept me really warm. So this is gonna be a great shawl and scarf during springtime in North Country, because spring doesn't mean warm in here. Spring is wet, muddy, and cold in North Country. So yes, I'm very excited to use this shawl finally. So that was that. Maybe I should share what kind of yarn I used. So the Mohair yarn was from Stacy Charles Luna, which unfortunately discontinued, and I had to get extra yarn. Luckily on Etsy there was a person who is selling discontinued yarn, so I found this and I got it. But this is from Stacy Charles Luna yarn, and 71 super kid mohair, 20% silk, and 9% lurex, which I'm sad my phone is not really very good camera. It has a little sparkle in it, so when you are under the sun you can see really nice sparkles on the yarn. So that's another thing I really like, and ended up with teeny tiny leftover yarn. Maybe you can see the sparkle on this. Oh yeah, you can. A little sparkle. It's really nice. So I don't know about you, but I feel bad throwing yarn, so I don't know, I might make a little motif or doll dress, Barbie dress, I don't know, but I'm sure I'm gonna use this little yarn for something again. All right, so that was my shawl. Oh, and the other yarn, so the other yarn I used for the border is from Playful Day Yarns. Yeah, there you go. The lighting is harsh. It's from Playful Day Yarns. It is, let me see, Super Wash Merino and Cashmere, which is maybe why it's really soft, and 10% nylon, just a little bit. So 80% is merino and 10% cashmere and 10% nylon. And I really love this yarn, especially it's really warm tone of white, and there is like a little teeny bit of pink and yellow and a little bit of orange, so it paired perfectly with my solid bright orange yarn. Again, my camera is not that amazing, so it's very hard to show you, but you get the idea, I think. Yeah, let me change. You get the idea, even though my camera picture quality is not the best. Okay, so there is that. That's my favorite yarn now, and I have leftover, so I cannot wait to make different things out of this yarn. Okay, so that is my first finished project this summer. And the other one is, oh, I'm so excited to show you my first designed tee, which looks like just a solid linen tee. Took me forever to actually finish this, but I wanted to make this as a oversized tee, so I can either wear, right now I'm wearing jeans, let me back off. There you go. Right now I'm wearing jeans, but then I can also wear skirts, long skirts, or one piece, and then put this on the top. Yes, so I really like how it turned out. Maybe only thing is a neckline. I probably made it too wide. I do have a wide neck considering how short I am, so it's actually perfect for me. But if I'm going to make this official pattern, then this might be too wide in general, so I probably have to tweak a little bit. And since it's going to be winter time, I think this is gonna be a next year pattern to release. But yes, I really like it. I started from the top, so with a circular needle I just cast it on the neckline. And one thing, it's intimidating to do short row. I don't mind doing short row when it's written down and I'm just following the pattern, but when I am making a pattern, making something including short row was still intimidating, so I eliminated that. And I know there are other knitters who really are not comfortable using short rows but would like to try making garment. So that was kind of like a point of this tee, that you can make something without using short row. So I just cast it on neckline, and as you can see in the back, it's draped down. It's not like up to your neck, and it's really relaxed, oversized tee, which I really loved it. I actually wore this to Great Escape, which is a local Six Flag theme park, and it was a really hot day, but I really don't like showing off my shoulder and arms for some reason, so it was really nice. I had a tank top, shorts, and then put this tee on the top, and it kept me pretty cool, like really nice and cool. So I really like the material. The yarn is from Sparrow from Quince Co, and it's a nice yarn. When you are knitting, it feels harder because it's not like a wool or natural fiber. I mean, this is natural fiber, this is linen, so it's different kind of natural fiber. It's not animal based fiber, so it felt really different. Sorry, that was my speaker. So it felt really different, but once I blocked it, it's really soft and drapey, and I like how it flows. As you can see, it's just a really nice texture. And the last time I talked about maybe I'm gonna crop it right below waist, but I don't know, I just feel maybe because I'm older, I'm not teenager who likes to wear t-shirt to this high. Like, I like to have belly coverage. So yeah, I like this length. And last time I talked about making a solid tee without any pattern, but then I kind of get tired of it, so I added a little bit of a lace pattern on the bottom. So it will add a little tiny bit of accent. So yes, I like it. I really love it. But again, if thinking about making this as a official pattern, that's kind of like a different story, I feel like. So I think I'm gonna tweak tiny bit around my neckline and see what happens. So next spring I am going to put it up for test knitting, and then English word, it sometimes disappears from my head, and then release as a official knitting pattern. So that's my goal. So, oh, and I forgot to mention, like I said, August was frogging month. I frogged so many times. First was that shawl I just talked about, and the second one was this pattern, this project. So it's a rookie pattern making mistake, I guess, but I had like a regular t-shirt from store just to get the measurement, to get the idea. So I measured everything laying flat, and stupid me, I did not double the sleeve. So I wanted to make it as a oversized half sleeve shirt like this, and has a lot of ease underneath, so it will be very comfortable. But when I measured it, I measured laying flat only this side. So when I made up a pattern, you should supposed to double the size, right? Because you have front and back. But I only measured, I don't remember exact inch in this right now. But let's say you wanted to make 6 inches. Then you have to double and make it a 12 inches, but I was stupid not to double, so I calculated only for 6 inches. And after I was done, well, I wasn't done, but I was just trying it on, realized my sleeve is really tight, like this. And I go, yeah, you know what, I think I'll be fine, I can just keep going, and I mean, it still fit me, it should be fine. So I just kept going, and once I finished, I said, no, not happening. I still don't like it, especially like when you move like this. It just didn't feel right. It was really tight. So I said, yeah, that was a bad idea. Why did I kept going? So I knitted all the way down to the bottom. I ended up frogging all the way to the top, and then recalculated how many I should have, which I also thought the body width was slightly off. So anyways, I am a rookie when it comes to designing pattern for garment, so there was a huge mistake that I made. And then it was right in the middle of summer vacation from school, so I wanted to do some activity. I wanted to turn my work into some sort of activity for kids. So I'm gonna put some video right here, but I let kids frog it because they usually love frogging it. And since it's nice and warm outside, we brought this tea outside and see how far they can walk by frogging my project. And they made it all the way to the end of the property, which is not that big, and then came back and still had leftover. And then they wanted to do yarn winder, just to spin it. So I said, okay, fine, run all the way to the end of the property, and there is a trailer. Just put some yarn winder on the trailer and see if you can wind yarn while frogging the project. And we did it. And I think they had fun. But yeah, you gotta make some sad thing into something fun, I guess. What is that one? If life give you a lemon, make it into a lemonade, something like that. So yes, that was sad, but it was fun, so it's all good. But anyways, that was my summer project, and there wasn't many going on. I was just working on shawl, I was working on my sweater and planning other things for the winter slowly. So that's pretty much what I could do for knitting during the summertime. So that is finished project, and let's see. Oh yeah, and I actually wrote down a bunch of stuff on my computer because I cannot keep track of things that I was trying to talk today. The other finished project are pumpkins. I made these cute knitted plush pumpkins last year, and it was really popular, and I still have yarn left from last year. So I said, why not make pumpkins? I have a little shelf in downtown craft store, so I figured I'm gonna switch my product from summer things to something fall, and I made pumpkins. So I brought pumpkins, and I left one for this very purpose. I left one pumpkin to show it to you on YouTube for this purpose. But I brought pumpkin last Wednesday, no, last Thursday. So through the weekend, people will come to the store and, hopefully purchase. So Wednesday afternoon, I went there, switched everything, stocked with a lot of pumpkins, left the store. Friday evening, I got this message and a picture from the shop staff saying the shelf is empty. So it basically sold out within 24 hours, and I had to restock yesterday. Like, I had to make pumpkins this past few days, and then just restocked the shelf yesterday, and because of that my pumpkin is gone in the house. So it's gonna be picture right here, but this is a pumpkin, and I'm pretty sure I still have to make more pumpkins this month. So that was my finished project, and another finished project is felted wine glass koozie. So this is actually a product, well, was a product, finished item product last year for the holiday season. What happened was, my friend in this area, she make wine. She has a vineyard and she make wine. The business name is Four Maples Vineyard and Winery, which is up in Champlain, New York. She's probably 5 minutes away from the Canadian border. So if you happen to be in Quebec area, this is a very nice winery and vineyard that you can visit. I really love their wine, and we became friends, and she obviously know I have knitting business, and we were talking about maybe collaborating with her business and my business. So she asked me, can you make something like a wine related product, and maybe she can sell at her winery, and maybe we can do craft fair together for the holiday. So what ended up happening is, I wanted to make a wine glass koozie because I like to use stemless wine glass, especially with kids. So I figured, I should be able to make a wine glass koozie. So I made one, I knitted one, but I didn't like how it's, I don't know, I won't say flimsy. It's very thin and stretchy. It just doesn't feel very stable, especially when it's like carved like this. So I almost ditched that idea, and I actually made this wine. Let me go get that. Oops. So I ended up making these bottles. Well, the bottle caddy, wine bottle caddy. And then I still didn't like how it turned out because it was very stretchy. Okay, this is felted, but it was knitted first. And I didn't like the stretchy texture. And, I'm like, oh my god, I'm suck at it. Maybe it's not a good idea to make anything wine by just, by knitted. But when I saw some felting product, I said, well, that might be a good idea. If it's felted, it will be sturdier. It won't be too stretchy. So I ended up making oversized cover and then felted, and turned out to be very sturdier caddy like this. And so was this. So I said, well, if that works for the bottle, then it should work for the wine koozie too. So I knitted up an oversized wine koozie like this, and then felted, and it turned out to be super pretty and beautiful. And it was one of the best selling knitted product last year during the holiday season. So I made more this year, and actually these are going to, this is actually became a pattern. So I made a knitted pattern along with instruction and tutorial videos of stitch and techniques and how to felt. So I just finished this, and it's released last week, so it should be on YouTube channel already. So that's my finished product that I'm pretty proud of doing. I like the color. It's from Wool of the Andes from WIP Crochet and Knitpicks. They are the same company. And I like how their color combinations are. And you can't really see, but there's a tiny bit of purple in it too. So anyways, this is my favorite project that I finished. And I hope I have enough time so I can make this for myself, and I'll be able to use it this winter time. So that's finished project. And let's see, another finished project is this mug cozy. So this is also from last year, but I made this as a holiday gift collection, and now I don't know if I should make this under finished project, because yes, I'm done making the cozy, but I'm not done making patterns. So I need to make official patterns and distribute to test knitters, but product itself is done. So I wanted to share how pretty it is. And this cute little button, I asked a local artist. She is actually a jewelry maker, but she have laser machine, and she could make these buttons. So I asked her, can you make something like this? And she ended up making my buttons for this mug cozy. And her name is Ryelyn. I will put a link below if you're interested in either buttons or custom made something or jewelry. If you're curious, you can go to her link and see what she offers. But yes, I'm very excited about this cozy. And because I made mug cozy, it's not completed yet, but I made just a simple round cozy to go on a either just a to-go cup or travel mug. English is hard. Okay. So yeah, that's another finished project. Okay, and I think that's it for finished project. I didn't think I'm gonna keep going for like 30 minutes over finished project. I'm sorry if you feel like it's kind of dragging, or if I'm going too slow. Please make a comment down below and let me know how you like the pace of this podcast. Okay, so work in progress WIP project is not many actually. So this is something I shared in the spring that I finished. I am intending to make this for 2 of my boys, and one is done. He is 5. So this is done, but I still have to make the second sweater for my older kid. So that's work in project, and I just cast it on, like, I don't know, cast it on, made 2 rows. That's pretty much it right now. So I'm not even sharing the entire picture how it looks like, because it's basically nothing. But yes, I am making this, the second sweater. The pattern is from Jared Flood from Brooklyn Tweed, which I really love. So that's my first WIP. And the second WIP is this is another thing. It's kind of finished, but it's still work in progress because I am trying to make this as a official pattern, and that's this scarf. And I shared on my Instagram page a few days ago, and there are a couple of people who like to test knit. But if you're interested in test knitting, please let me know. The pattern itself came from Japanese, either Japanese knitting stitch dictionary or Japanese lace stitch dictionary, but one of those books. And I just added edging and how it starts on the bottom, and here is the scarf. So it's very pretty, and it's not huge scarf, it's just a very basic size, average size scarf. If anything, it's a little skinny, but I really like it for the fall season. And when, like, even during the winter time when it's really cold, I like to tuck everything inside of my coat so there won't be any gap. Like, I'm talking about a place I live, which is, it can be like 15 below. It's really freezing, so you don't want any gap around your neck or hand. So yes, I like skinnier scarf sometimes, so I will be able to wrap my neck around and then put everything inside of the coat to tuck it in. So this works perfect. So scarf itself is finished, but pattern making is work in progress right now. So that's my another work in progress. And let's see. Oh, this one. There you go. The other one. Oh, I knew I was forgetting something. The other work in progress is mason jar cover. I know I released 2 patterns already, and the third one, which is right here, it looks like almost a macrame design, but this third one right here is supposed to be released this summer, but I couldn't get there. So right now I am making the third mason jar cover pattern, which is going to be distributed to test knitters next week, and my plan is to get it done by mid-November so people can knit for the Christmas if anybody's interested. So yes, let me know if you like to do test knitting, either scarf or mason jar cover. The pattern will be ready for test knitting by next week, and hopefully actually happens next week, because as soon as I say something like that, usually kids get sick or somebody gets sick in this house and things get a little delayed. So fingers crossed nobody's gonna get sick and everything will be on time. But yes, my goal is for the next week we are going to do test knitting. So that's my another work in progress. Let me move this since it's in the way. Okay, and the last work in progress is this very first sweater. Yay! Which I don't know if it's probably new designer. Maybe new designers all go through this, or I don't know if it's just me, but I had to frog a lot last night. Actually, it happened last night. So I knitted all the way to the top, And this is another thing, like I decided measurements, everything, and calculated, put on the paper, and said, okay, now it's time to cast on and make the sweater. But as I was going, making this sweater, first I was thinking it's going to be a drop down shoulder, so the body part is kind of rectangular, square, so the shoulder part will drop down, so it's not raglan like you're gonna have the line here and then has sleeve, or set in shoulder like you have a complete shaping around your armhole all the way to the shoulder, and then make like complete shaping of the shoulder. It is drop down shoulder, so it's basically it's kind of baggy, like big square rectangular shape, and that will, the shoulder will drop right here, and then you will start the sleeve from here. So that was my plan, and it is still my plan. But my first plan was to make a body part completely rectangular. So shoulder part was supposed to be straight like this. So this is neckline, and then makes the shoulder part straight, and then body part, and then you make sleeves later. But I wanted to, as I knit through, I decided I like shoulder shaping. So instead of going flat like this, I wanted to angle like slightly down like this. So I added short rows and calculated, and I said, oh, it should be good. What ended up was I think I wasn't through enough, and I forgot the fact that shoulder shaping, instead of going flat, it's dropping like this. The armhole depth is going to drop too. So when it was flat, the armhole depth will be wider compared to when the shoulder shaping is slanted and get narrower to the bottom. Of course, the armhole depth is going to be shorter. So I didn't put that in my consideration, and as I knit, I realized, oh crap, now the armhole is not like the size I wanted to. And it's like the same mistake I made for summer tea, I guess I should learn by now. But I'm like, oh well, I mean, it's not like too big, too short, I mean too small to fit my arms, so we'll see what happens. And I knit it all the way to the top, which picture is right here, and I did all the neck shaping and everything, which I was really happy about. But then the arm is not something I loved, and if I don't love it, then clearly I am not gonna make it as a official pattern nor wear it. So I said, okay, I guess I have to frog it. So I frogged everything last night, and this is what it's left. So right now I'm going to start shoulder shaping right here. Not shoulder, I'm going to separate the front and back right here, and then keep going with the front panel and back panel, and then do the shoulder shaping again, make the neck shaping again, and then it will be where I left off. But I'm really hoping I'm gonna love what I'm doing the second time, so I can keep going with the pattern. And so another thing I am struggling in my head right now is grading, because everything I designed before is something I don't need grading. Like I make mug cozy, it's one size. I make wine bottle holder, it's one size. I make shawl or scarf, it's one size. I don't have to worry about different sizing. But now, if you're making sweater, of course, sizing is different for every human being, and I am a small size, but clearly I still have to make extra small, medium, large, extra large. And then question is like, how big do I make it, and how customizable do I make it? So that's a huge question in my head, and I did learn there are few good sources to learn how to grade knitting pattern. So I guess this once I'm done with my size, once I'm done designing this sweater, I need to look into it more deeper. Look into it deeper, so I will be able to learn how to grade and be able to make this as a official knitting pattern, because that's, after all, is my the biggest goal, to make a garment knitting pattern official for everyone to knit. So there is a lot to learn and a lot to work on, but I'm very excited I started this journey on sweater design. And so anyways, those are my WIP. And if you're wondering what this yarn is, it's very soft and fuzzy. It almost feel like I added mohair yarn onto a regular solid yarn. So it's very soft and fluffy and fuzzy too. But this is from Drops Design. The yarn name is Air, and it's really airy. It's feel like very light and fluffy. So far I really like this yarn. So that's my work in progress project. And future plan. Yes, I do have a future plan, which I don't know how many I can knit. Another thing, I'm so impressed with other knitters. They are constantly working and designing different things, like non-stop and in very quick pace, and I really like to know how they do it. So if you are a designer, or if you are in designing journey, or if you do have a knitting business, I really would like to know how you do it, how your routine is. Let me know if you have YouTube channel or podcast. Please leave the link below. And if you like to chat or talk about things, please message me, because it's, after all, it's kind of like a lonely journey. I feel like, unless you have local yarn store and you have people who are master knitters and be able to ask question all the time, that's great. But I don't have any local yarn store around here. The closest is probably an hour and a half away. And I don't know any like really experienced knitting nerds like I am around here. So the best way for me to create connect with other knitters like me, like who wants to design, who wants to know everything about knitting, is through YouTube or social media. So if you are on the same page, or if you are watching this thinking, oh my gosh, she got nothing, she doesn't know what she's doing. If you feel like that, then please contact me. If you feel like tutoring me or just giving me some tips, that would be great. So anyways, the future plan, there are several. One is that my friend gave me yarn. She doesn't knit. She doesn't knit at all, and it's used to be her grandma's, and the family was about to donate somewhere else, but then she said, oh wait, I know the person who likes to knit. So she kept this box for me, and there is lots of yarn inside, and some of them I'm familiar with them. And one is Cascade Superwash yarn, which is great. And I have gray Mohair yarn. So I was thinking maybe I can combine them and make a hat for her. And she has a little boy and a husband. So I figured I got some of these yarn too. So black, that's perfect for male. And our kids' school color is white and blue, and I got some blue yarn and white yarn. So I think I'm just gonna make hat for her boy, herself, and her husband. So that's another plan out of this yarn stash that I just received. So that's my future plan. And if you have any pattern recommendation for hat, I would really appreciate it, because I don't usually wear hat. I really don't like hat. I think I talked about this last time. But yeah, I don't wear them unless it's necessary, as in like when it's 15 below I would wear them, but other than that I usually don't like wearing hat. So to be said, I don't usually make hat, and I don't have a lot of hat patterns that I can think of. So if you have any hat pattern recommendation, please let me know. So that is one future plan, is making 3 hats, and then Christmas sweater for adults. So yes, I'm making this sweater for kids, which I want to make for myself and for my husband. So I don't know, it's mid-October already, so making it by Christmas and be able to take a photo for Christmas card, I only have like a month to make everything on top of the designing. So yeah, I don't know, I'm skeptic. I would be happy if I find if I could make another sweater for my kid. So we'll see, but if not, then I guess I am just going to make it for the winter time, which is fine, because winter is long around here until April or May, so it's not gonna be a problem. The other thing is, I don't know, I like to make this as a same pattern. So I bought a pattern for kids, and there is Atlas pattern for adults, but I don't know, I like to try different structure, different pattern, different colors. So I might ended up making different color sweater, and hopefully with heavier weight yarn, so it will be really quick. And there are a bunch of babies already born or on the way. So I have 2 boys. My friend two of my friends recently gave birth, and both of them have a boy. So I like to make either blanket or a sweater for their babies. But honestly, I mean, I love making it, but honestly, I have two boys, so, and everyone around me have boys, which is great because they can play together. But at the same time, I don't have many girls around here, and I think I'm boyed out, to be honest. And then another good friend of mine just told me she's expecting. It's not official yet. She hasn't told everybody yet. But she's expecting, and it's gonna be a girl. So I'm like, yay, finally girls. So I'm going to make one piece, blanket, hat, everything. So that's my future plan of making something for baby boys and a baby girl. Yeah, seems like a lot of projects to me. But yeah, we'll see. Those are my future plans, and hopefully in next podcast, again, I am trying to do it every month, and I know I'm not consistent, but I'm trying to do it next month. So hopefully I have those things casted on and be able to show you as my WIPs. So they are all about knitting today, and yeah, it's been, like I said, summer has been crazy. Towards the end it's got crazier because my youngest is very active. Between my friends and I, it's always a joke. It's a second child syndrome, because first one tends to be calmer, and second one, out of nowhere, they are just craziest kids. So my second is the same thing. He is very active. He's only 5, and he has more energy than I do, and he eats more than I do. Yeah, he loves sports. He's very athletic, and he said he wants to play football. So we signed him up for flag football. He's still young, too young for tackle. So he started flag football, which he loves. And then he said he wants to play soccer too. And I said, no, you're not playing 2 sports. That's insane. But my oldest, he also wanted to play soccer, and some practice and all that overlaps, but it doesn't overlap with football. So since we are gonna be there for soccer field for the oldest one anyways, ended up my youngest playing football and soccer, and oldest playing soccer this year, and that's all started in August. So it's been pretty crazy days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is the only break, and Saturday, Sunday, everything was filled with sports activities on top of other things. So yeah, I never thought older kids' schedule can be this hectic. I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching them get better at what they do, and my oldest is more like a, I don't know, quiet and a little more gentle. So he's so polite when he's on the field, which is, I don't know, as a player might not be the best thing, because you have to like get in the crowd and get it and be aggressive, and he's just so polite. So it was really cute watching him play. The second one, on the other hand, he is just like, I don't know, don't care who his teammate is. He's just gonna steal the ball from his teammate and keep going really quick, and he's good at it. So that's another thing. But by her, I got a nickname from soccer coach, different team coach. He is a beast. The other soccer coach, different soccer coach, said he is a machine, and football parents said he is an animal, and a few weeks later football coach also said you're such an animal. So that's how he is. So anyways, I enjoyed the season. It was very busy, but I enjoyed watching both of them. So that's part of the reason it was pretty crazy. But anyways, that just ended last week, which ended up on the same day as Rhinebeck and Kingston Yarn Festival. So I was very sad. I was trying to go there. I wanted to plan, but I wasn't sure with the schedule, and the cost of staying is also another thing. And I had all intention of going there. It sounded like such an amazing event, and they are only 3.5 hours drive from where I live. So I really wanted to make it there, and I was looking at all the Instagram posts from other people being there, enjoying the festival, which honestly I was really jealous. But at the same time, my kids' last soccer game and football games are on the same day, and I was honestly happy to be there for them and be able to watch the last game and celebrate how good they did. So I guess it's just a season of my life where I should focus as a mother and put either my business or other things on the side so I can be with them. But again, if you're a mom, you kind of know how you feel kind of missed out on other things. But yeah, kids are more important than other things. So that was a good thing I didn't schedule a trip and make a reservation for hotel and not dedicate it to be there, because I definitely felt much worse if I missed the event. So next year, maybe, hopefully, it doesn't fall on the same weekend, and I will be able to go with my friends and meet other people who I see on Instagram, actually talk to them, or yarn store owners, or indie dyers. I really like to meet them, so hopefully next year. And the other struggle is the knitting business part, because when we have business in this world right now, there are so many things required. You have to have social media posts, everything. So I am like struggling between website, Instagram, possibly TikTok, Facebook. What else do we have? Whatever we have. Ravelry for the knitting, and then YouTube. And then of course designing, knitting, and at the same time learning everything related, whatever I listed, because I am not a social media professional or knitting pattern creator professional. That everything is very first time. So it's very hard to learn all of those things by myself. But do I have somebody else that I can hire? The answer is no, because I am not making that much money and I won't be able to hire anybody. So yes, I think there's lots of things need to be done, and sometimes it's overwhelming, and try to plan things, but things are not going as fast as I wanted. And since you plan ahead of time to do certain things, you feel like everything is just stashing up in front of you. And when it happens, my brain basically freezes. So that was something really hard during summertime thinking I am not doing as much as I should or I want. And then I always have problem transitioning from, I don't know, routine. Like once the routine is established and then that get left off and you're trying to get back onto the routine, that transition is very hard for me. So it took me a while to get back to how it was before the summer vacation, how everything was. But now I feel like I'm finally back on track and doing things I was doing before the summer vacation in the routine, the way I established. So yeah, I think it's easier now. Anyways, those are things that's going on in my life, and towards the end, if it was boring, I'm sorry. And please give me like feedback if you don't want to hear any of those mental health or any other sort of updates. I guess I will eliminate that part on the podcast. Just like last time somebody said, I don't really like to listen to the background music. And I said, well, perfect, because that's actually is another step for me before releasing the video, because I am going over video editing and then putting the background music. If I don't have to do it, great, it's gonna be a quicker process. So if you have any suggestion about podcast making, please let me know. And I usually keep going and going, so I should probably stop right here. And hopefully next time I will have many WIPs casted on and many projects casted on, and hopefully my design is done so I can create official pattern. And hopefully this podcast will bring more people who are interested in what I'm doing and connect with me. And I would like to know how you are doing and how your winter project is like. So please leave a comment below. Thank you for watching podcast from Palmeri Arts and Crafts, and hopefully I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye bye. Happy knitting.